right, we have an average question here, and there's a couple ways to solve it. So I want to focus on the big picture way that's going to be the most useful first, but then also a little bit of a trickier way of solving it second. So first and foremost, when we're dealing with average questions, I always want to focus on the total because the total is an easier number to work with than the average. And so if you remember, average is equal to the total, the sum total, divided by the number of things we have. So for example, this average of 80 here is equal to whatever the total number of miles driven were divided by 4, which means the total is going to equal 4 times 80, which is 320. Okay, so we have the total is 320, and then we know how much of that total was driven by the other 3 people. So if we subtract these numbers from 320, we'll be left with the number of miles that Raphael drove. So I see an opportunity to add a 72 and a 78. That's going to end with a 0 because the 8 plus a 2. And that's going to give me 150. So I'm going to subtract 150 from 320 real quick. And that's going to leave me with, 270? No, 170. So I have 170 left over. And I am now subtracting the 83 from Maria. And that is going to leave me with a 87 as an answer choice. So 87 is my answer. That is answer choice D. Now, if I want to solve it a little bit trickier, we could get a little bit more technical here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on finding the average by balancing things around the average. So what I mean is if we have an average of 80 and we have 4 values, then however much we exceed the average by has to add up to however much we undercut the average by so that they balance out like a seesaw at the 80 point. So for example, using the numbers we have, if I have a 72 and a 78, I have undercut the average by 2 and 8 for a total of 10, which means I'm going to need to exceed the average by a total of 10 with my other numbers. So if one of the numbers is 83, we're exceeding by 3, I need to exceed by 7 for my second number to get a total excess of 10. And that would bring us to 87, which confirms answer choice D as well. So it's kind of like a seesaw. You need to have the same amount of excess stuff above it as you have missed or undershot by below it, with whatever numbers fall on the left and the right. Doesn't matter how many numbers there are, they have to net out with the same amount of missing of that target average number.